as we just officially ended the NCAA college basketball season. A lot of people shift gears and talk Atlanta Braves baseball around these parts, and we've got Scott Coleman from TalkingChop.com on the phone with us. Scott, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, Scott. This is Brett Pritchard, Austin Robinson here with you. And let's talk about the Atlanta Braves. First time looking out there across the way and no Bobby Cox, and I know a lot of Braves fans still trying to get used to that.
Yeah, it's weird. Bobby's been, at the helm for 20 years now, and it was just real different to see someone different than him in there. And you grow accustomed hearing the, come on, kid, and that a boy, and good swing. And Freddie, he's a similar manager, but you can already tell that some things are going to be done a little different than Bobby's way.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have a quick question. You're talking about that. Bobby Cox, I've been a Braves fan for a long time, lived in Atlanta, went to Georgia Tech, went to a ton of games. But I'll tell you what, last year was one of his best managing jobs, including that great run he had in the mid to late 90s that I've seen. I mean, what many people thought was a team that lacked a lot of talent as far as the upper echelon, but I thought he did a fantastic job last year, and it was just a great credit to him to go out like that.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he had all the injuries to the pitching staff, and I believe his whole outfield was on the disabled list at one point or another. With the young kids handling Hayward and Venners in the bullpen, and he really did do a great job, and it really, was a good way to send out one of the best managers of all time.
Well, Scott, let's talk about this team, and as we move forward, and a lot of young talent on this team and a good mix of veterans as well with Chipper Jones coming back. And I know if he can stay healthy, that will really add a lot to what the Braves are able to do and somebody for those younger guys to look up to. Talk about the lineup and this pitching staff because, Scott, I really believe if they can stay intact, and it's a long season, it's the longest of any professional season out there with 162 regular season games, but if the Braves can put the right formula together and make it and consistently win throughout the season, I think this team has got the parts to really be competitive in the postseason.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It starts at the front, and Frank Wren's done a great job, holding on to his prospects, not trading them all away, and, being smart with his acquisitions. And as you said, a great mix of veterans with Chipper and Lowe and Hudson in the rotation. Then, the kids. I mean, Freeman he hasn't hit quite yet, but he's a real good-looking young player, and Hayward, of course. And, and guys like McCann and Prado, they're only in their late 20s. So, it's a real well-rounded club, and I really think we're going to see a lot from them this year as long as they can stay healthy.
Well, one thing I kind of want to talk about, the Braves, you've had Bobby Cox there for better part of 2 decades. And another thing that the Braves have done an outstanding job since the early 90s is at the front office, and you're looking at this turnover that the Braves have, and it just always seems like the Braves don't hold on to the veteran players too long. Look at whether it be a Maddox who ended up going away at the tail end of his career, or Glavine, who they had all their heydays, and they started wanting too much money for their perceived value. The Braves let them go. Look at Andrew Jones, whose career has not been anything like it was when he was with the Atlanta Braves, but they're keeping Chipper Jones because they must have seen it in there that he still had some gas left in the tank because he's still being very productive and had an outstanding year last year before he got injured.
Oh, yeah. The Braves, they're arguably the best-run franchise in all of baseball. I mean, they do a great job making sure, they have a nice mix of veterans on their club. But as you mentioned, getting rid of Andrew and Maddox and Glavine, they know when it's time to let the veterans go. And that's tough because the Braves in the 90s and early 2000s had a real great crew of veteran players. And it's tough to let them go. But, no, they do an excellent job of keeping Chipper around. And if this season's any indication, if he can stay healthy, he'll have a real big year for Atlanta.
We got Scott Coleman on the phone from TalkingChop.com and following the Atlanta Braves all season. Scott, let's talk about the NL East. And you look up and you see Philadelphia with What everybody's saying is maybe the most prolific starting rotation in the history of Major League Baseball. That's big words. Only 4 games into a season, but Philadelphia sits atop 3-0 in the standings. Braves half game back 3-1. It's really tough to start following standings this early, but got the Mets, Washington, and Florida. But it's really a 3-horse race by all stretches in the NL East. But Philadelphia, do you see anybody able to break through if this team stays healthy and they can have this rotation? Because they've got a solid lineup from start to finish in the batting order. And then, of course, what they did in the offseason, adding Halladay. And just talk about the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Phillies, they're going to be a tough club to beat, and that's going to be that way for all 162 games because of that starting rotation. I mean, when Joe Blanton is the worst pitcher on a 5-night, in 5 nights, that's pretty good. And Halladay and Lee, they're among the best in the league. And Oswalt and Hamels, they'll give you a real good game, too. And, the only way I see the Phillies slowing down this year is injuries, and they've had quite a few of them. But, yeah, that's a heck of a club up there in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and you got them coming in this weekend, too, Scott. So we'll know right off out of the gate what this rivalry will be. And this is built up to be a pretty good rivalry with both teams obviously battling it out for the East over the last decade or so. We'll see what happens as Atlanta welcomes in Philadelphia for the first home games of the 2011 season for Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Turner Field should be loud, 50,000 strong there. The weather looks like it should be real nice, and I believe they have Hudson and Beachy, who looked great last night, and Lowe pitching. So some of the veterans, and hopefully they can, make a statement to, the rest of the teams in the NL East and all of baseball, because all offseason we heard how great the Phillies were and how the Braves didn't have much of a chance. But I think they could really surprise some people this year, and that starts with a strong series on Saturday, or this weekend, rather.
Well, like I said, I lived in Atlanta for, part of the Ted Turner years when money didn't seem to be an object, and the Braves had one of the highest payrolls in baseball. Then, of course, Ted Turner kind of got out of it, but Atlanta was still a well-run franchise, still is a well-run franchise. Do you see it ever getting back to the point where Atlanta gets to be one of the 5, 6, 7 highest payroll teams in the league? Because I know you occasionally have a Tampa Bay team, but if people remember, Tampa Bay got the first pick in the draft for like 9 years in a row. So eventually they're going to have a good run like this. So do you ever see Atlanta getting back to where, I mean, baseball's gotten to be where you almost have to be in that top 6 to 8 payroll range to be competitive year in and year out. And I think the Braves have kind of bucked the system a little bit, by doing that, by being competitive. But do you ever see them getting into the market on the mega names? You don't see Atlanta in the market for the mega names anymore. Of course, they have Hayward right now, but he's going to be one of the mega names in the next couple of years. Do you see him able to hang on? I know he's a Georgia kid, but do you see Atlanta getting back in the big market?
Well, you hope so. I mean, ever since Liberty Media took over a few years ago, the payroll has declined a little bit, and part of that's, not the economy and fans not being able to make quite as few games, but I mean, there's been reports that they're looking to sell here in the next year or so, and you hope that you get an owner who, wants to put money into the club and wants to really put a good team, 1 through 25, and bring in some big-name free agents and make a big trade. And as far as Hayward, I do think they'll be able to keep him. Jeff Francoeur was the big name a few years ago, and he kind of flamed out, and they're looking for that guy to replace Chipper Jones as the head of the franchise, and with Hayward being a Georgia boy and having just so much talent as just a 21-year-old, I really do think they'll want to hang on to the kid.
Well, Scott, before we let you go, and we hope to have you on several times throughout the season, catch up with you and kind of break down what's going on with the Atlanta Braves. The one big, negative thing against Major League Baseball is what Austin just hit on, and it's that if you don't have a lot of money, you're really not a competitive club. And Major League Baseball has been criticized that, you've got teams and franchises that just go out and buy championships, and, it's kind of unfortunate because your smaller markets just do not seem to be able to compete. When was the last time Kansas City ever thought about being in the running for anything? And I'm just using them as an example. And I know Tampa has hit a stride as an expansion team not too long ago, and not taking their lumps as well, as Austin just said, but being able to have the first pick enough to build it up. But it looks like once you ride that tide out a little bit, you kind of fall off the heap. Is that where baseball basically is now? Is it's just whoever can outspend the other one?
Yeah, and it's sad, when it all started with, the Yankees and Red Sox and their big spending, and, and it's trickled down. You see a team like the Washington Nationals, really they spent big money to get Strasburg with their draft pick and, and Jason Worth this offseason. So, and it is, and it's sad, and you really do want to see baseball getting back to more of an even keel, and you'd rather not see just, a couple teams every year with a huge payroll, because like you said, you can be competitive with the young prospects for a while, but after a while it will catch up with you, and you do have to spend some money to stay competitive year in and year out.
Well, I just don't see how Major League Baseball can prosper at its current rate and the way it's set up right now, because these smaller markets that don't have the TV exposure and have the market share like New York and Boston and L.A. and some of these other areas, they're just not going to be able to survive. There are already a lot of them in the red as it is anyway, and they're just struggling to hang on. And if they get that young prospect, when his contract runs out, he's not staying. The Pinstripes are going to come grab him up, or the Red Sox, or somebody like that. It's whoever's just got the most money. And to me, that's not competition. That's just, I'm going to go out and buy the best guy, and I'm going to buy me a championship. It's not competing for one. But, it is what it is right now. Maybe things will change, Scott.
Yeah, you hope so. It starts with Bud Selig, and, he's been scrutinized and praised, over his long course of being baseball's, being the head of baseball, and you're right, they do need to have some changes be made, because if there aren't changes made pretty soon here, we're going to see, the Yankees or the Red Sox, or, only the big market clubs winning, and last year it was kind of nice with Texas there. It does remind us that how a team doesn't have to spend, more than $100 million to, to be there, and the Giants as well, but I just said, if they don't make a change here pretty soon, it's just going to be the big market clubs dominating every year.
You're exactly right, Scott. It's been a pleasure having you on with us tonight. We appreciate it. Looking forward to talking with you throughout the season.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Go Braves.